Is that supposed to be doing that? Okay, sorry. Okay, we're starting.
We're Bikini Kill, and we want revolution! Girl style now!
Hey, girlfriend. You guys, we're doing another lore video today, and we're gonna talk about Kathleen Hanna, the lead singer of the famous punk rock feminist band Bikini Kill. What is it about me that is so special that I can speak about Kathleen Hanna? Little self-promo, self-brag. Maybe I've mentioned this before, but I am in a band. This is a video of my band Rebel Girlies covering the song Alien She by Bikini Kill. Kathleen Hanna is somebody who I look up to a lot and am inspired by. I read her memoir that just came out recently. I've watched her documentary multiple times now, which leads me to feminist dyke whore. I am not a source. I am just a girl. These explaining the lore videos are harder to do because I am really trying to use my platform well and not spread misinformation. In the past, before I had an audience, I was just sort of talking about things and people that I just am excited by and like to talk about and know some things about, but I am susceptible to making mistakes. Really wanted to avoid just reading her Wikipedia page to you all, so I tried my best to get different sources and different interviews. If I get anything wrong, again, you are always free to let me know nicely in the comments. As always, we're starting at the beginning. So Kathleen Hanna was born in Portland, Oregon, another West Coast girly on our roster, on November 12th, 1968. She is a Scorpio. We do forgive her for that. I actually love Scorpios. So she moved around a lot because of her father's job, spent a lot of time on the West Coast, but also on the East Coast in Maryland. Her mother was a psychiatric nurse and also volunteered at churches to counsel survivors of domestic violence. And her dad was a welder and the president of his union, which is what required them to move a lot. She ended up going to school at a small liberal arts college called Evergreen State College in Olympia, where she studied photography. So that's kind of really where our story begins. Kathleen started out by making feminist art due to her frustrations with censorship of her work because of its sort of really outspoken themes. She and some other women started a women's art gallery called Reco Muse. They also hosted a lot of band performances frequently. Kathleen also wrote spoken word poetry. She was obsessed with this writer called Kathy Acker. She dealt with a lot of themes around childhood trauma, sexuality, and rebellion. She did a workshop where Kathleen got to go and meet her and have a 5-minute long conversation with her. So Kathy asked Kathleen why she writes, why she's a writer. And Kathleen said because nobody's ever listened to her in her life and she has a lot to say. And Acker's response was, why are you doing spoken word? People smoke cigarettes outside when people do spoken word. If you want people to go to your shows and to listen to you, you should start a band. And Kathleen was like, okay, say less. It was almost like somebody needed to give her permission to go and start a band. Let this be your permission. If you want to go and start a band, you should do it, especially if you belong to an underrepresented group of people. Kathleen's first band was actually not Bikini Kill. The first band she started was called Amy Carter, and later on she started a band called Viva Knievel, which was a little more metal. Toby Vale is one of the founding members of Bikini Kill. Kathleen says that she basically had a friendship crush on her. She would see her around a lot at shows. Toby had been in bands prior as well and was friends with Kathy Wilcox, the third founding member of Bikini Kill. And she actually approached Kathy first and asked her, hey, do you play guitar? And Kathy was like, nope. And Toby was like, okay, do you play bass? And Kathy was like, And so then Toby was like, okay, well, do you want to start a band? And Kathy was like, okay. So it was Toby's idea to invite Kathleen to be their singer. They were really trying to find a girl to be their guitarist, but they ended up settling for Bill. For a guy named Bill, a white guy named Bill. What is Bill's last name? So sorry. It's almost like I don't have room in my mind for men's names. Okay, so I'm getting Kill Bill. That's not what I'm looking for. William Francis Karen is an American musician best known as the lead guitarist for the punk Riot Grrrl band Bikini Kill. Okay, Billy Karen. Bikini Kill officially started in the year 1990. Everyone said to them, you guys can't play your instruments. And they were like, okay. And bitch, you're still at the show. All right, so we cannot talk about Kathleen without talking about Smells Like Teen Spirit. I am against promoting the idea that women should be most known for how they're associated to men, but this story is so iconic and it deserves to be told. So I'm gonna tell it, but just know that that's on my mind. Okay? Kurt Cobain. Have you ever heard of him? So he lived in Olympia for a few years and actually dated Toby Vale. Fun fact, wanted Toby to be the drummer for Nirvana before Dave Grohl, and she said no. So Kathleen and Kurt were hanging out in August of 1990 at Kurt's apartment in Olympia. They got super drunk one night and were getting pissed off about a teen pregnancy center, which was actually just like a right-wing operation to try and tell teenage girls that they're going to go to hell if they have abortions. They decided to go downtown and spray paint on the building. Kathleen spray painted fake abortion clinic and Kurt spray painted God is gay. Put that on a t-shirt immediately. So back at Kurt's apartment, still drunk, Kathleen writes Kurt smells like Teen Spirit on his wall. Teen Spirit is a deodorant for like pubescent girls, and she just like thought it was funny and random. And Kurt woke up the next morning, saw it on his wall, and was like, brilliant. So the first Bikini Kill record is released in 1991. They released it themselves. It's called Revolution Girl Style Now. And Toby says that Girl Style Now was a call for more girls to start bands and zines and participate in making independent culture. So I'm going to talk about some songs on these albums. Just know, like, I could spend like a whole hour just like breaking down all of her music. We don't have that amount of time, so I'm just going to kind of talk about the standouts to me. The first one being Daddy's Little Girl. So partially because of this song's lyrics, an article in the Washington Post stated that Kathleen's father had R-worded her, which really upset Kathleen because she never said that and has been really explicit in the fact that that never happened to her. She felt as though other people's experiences were worse than hers, and she didn't like that this magazine was like claiming that she had claimed that something like that had happened to her as well. But she does specify in the documentary that her father was sexually inappropriate to her and was not a great father and was also verbally and emotionally abusive. Another song in this album that I really love is Feels Blind. You can really tell that she started out in poetry, but songs are basically just poems. This song deals with the lack of true understanding and empathy in a patriarchal society. She has these really beautiful metaphors and imagery in this song. The next song I want to talk about is Suck My Left One. Oh, I love this song. Okay, so when I saw Bikini Kill live, she introduced the song by saying that her sister used to yell this at catcallers. She says that her sister is like an asshole and it's too bad, but she did do this one iconic thing. Kathleen is regarded as one of like the best front women. You can see how Kathleen uses their stage time to talk to the audience in between songs, which she says that she would get a lot of shit for, that men would be like, stop talking so much, play your instrument. Talk specifically about the musician Isaac Hayes. Randomly is a voice in South Park. Hang on, let me look that up. Yeah, so Isaac Hayes was the voice of Chef. He was also just like a songwriter, composer, and actor, a legend. She talks about this album, this like live album of Isaac Hayes, where it was like the first time that she heard somebody like talking to the crowd in between songs, when he was introducing his song Use Me, which is like about being used like for sex. He like goes on this like little tangent and he goes, if I am to be an instrument of pleasure, then so be it. Ooh, it's so horny. I have felt really insecure about talking a lot at my shows, but I just love to yap. Give me a microphone and I'm gonna immediately, first of all, do the dog sniff. And I might say a few words, and that's fine. So in the summer of 1991, Bikini Kill moved to Washington, D.C. with their friends in the other Riot Grrrl band, Bratmobile. DC is kind of where the Riot Grrrl movement really begins. In terms of Riot Grrrl, I want to save a lot of my thoughts and explanations for what Riot Grrrl is for its own video. For the purposes of Kathleen's story, we cannot just not talk about Riot Grrrl. So Riot Grrrl was essentially a movement of women organizing to talk about their experiences of just being women through a punk lens. It was also very white, very middle class. Kathleen was seen as sort of the leader of Riot Grrrl, but she really did not want to be, and really inspired a lot of women to get involved in feminism or to start bands. Next, we've got Bikini Kill's second album called Pussy Whipped. This album was released October 26th of 1993 through the independent record label Kill Rock Stars. They were signing bands like Nirvana, Bratmobile, Sleater-Kinney, etc. So Pussy Whipped is an album that's regarded as one of the first really great Riot Grrrl albums. This is the album that the song Rebel Girl, which is a feminist Riot Grrrl anthem, first released on. A big part of Kathleen's feminism and what she was really trying to do was this unapologetic loving of women, because so much of the media was just trying to pit women against each other, and something that I even am a little bit guilty of in my Courtney Love video. Kathleen just really wanted to say, I love girls. I want to be her best friend. I'm admiring her. I'm not judging her. She's my rebel girl. I want to take you home. I want to try on your clothes. The other song I want to talk about on this album is Alien She, the song that I love to cover with my band. It's basically about having two different versions of yourself in you. One who's this ultra feminine, maybe internalized misogyny, maybe a little appeasing the male gaze version of you, and then this feminist, hairy, fuck you, fuck men version of you. How those two twins interact. The line Siamese twins connected at the unt. Whoa. She has such a way with words. Siamese twins connected at the unt. So let's talk about Sonic Youth and Kim Gordon, the godmother of women in punk rock. She asked Kathleen to be in the Bull and the Heather Sonic Youth music video in 1994, and I just wanted to talk about it because, oh my god, Kathleen is adorable in this video. I love her so much. We're gonna do a live reaction, actually. We're wearing Converse, we're wearing tights, we got cute little pigtails, cutie. Oh, okay, so the smooch on the cheek is really what gets me. Are you bitches gonna start to get sick of me not knowing the words to the songs that I'm singing? Because it's not gonna stop. She's giving Trisha Paytas in the We Made You music video. Bull in the heather. The way that she's dancing is very improv. We should make this a TikTok trend. Dance like Kathleen did in the Bull in the Heather music video. And then tag me. Ooh, look at those cunty little shoes. Oop, I shouldn't say that word. Sorry. Don't report me. I don't think I included this in my slideshow, actually, because it's whatever, but Kathleen was a stripper for a while. Being a feminist and being a stripper was like being a vegetarian and working at McDonald's. It's a job. And we live in a society. Look at her. Oh my gosh, she stole a guitar. She's running around. Yeah. So that's it. I love it. I mean, it's iconic, right? Right? Is Kim Gordon queer? We'll get around to that. It's impossible to not talk about ad rock. The best thing that has come out of this relationship is the baby girlification of ad rock. Adam Horowitz is the founding member, one of the founding members of the band Beastie Boys. Maybe you know them based off of their hit song, Girls! Baby boy ad rock is from New York, and you bitches know I love an accent. Song Girls by Beastie Boys is so silly and so sexist. But there's this part of the song, hang on, let me pull it up real quick. To do the dishes, to clean up my room, to do the laundry. Does he get a pass? Chat, does he get a pass for being sexist if he says it in a cute way? Okay, enough. Be serious. Kathleen says that Ad Rock wrote one of the most sexist albums of all time, but you cannot choose who you fall in love with. Girl, preach. Kathleen and Ad Rock met in 1994. She tells a lot about their little love story in her memoir, and it is so adorable. I love them together. He is also a Scorpio, which feels like a lot, but I am happy for them. So the next Bikini Kill album, Reject All American. I have this one on vinyl. Wait, let me go get it. Hang on. Look at this thing that I own. Really, really like this album artwork, actually. This is very Vermont coded. We've got a man shoveling himself out of a snowbank with all these like vintage looking cars. Or are they vintage, or did this just come out in the 90s? They've got their P.O. box on it, Bikini Kill Records. This album was released April 5th of 1996, again with the independent label Kill Rock Stars. The song that the album is named after, Reject All American, is probably the most known and also probably my favorite song on the album. It's basically about questioning American values and the lifestyle, namely capitalism. One of my favorite lyrics is, "If you work hard, you will succeed," at starring role at Nothing Incorporated. So the next album that comes out is called The Singles, which is a compilation album released June 23rd, 1998. Came out after the band had disbanded. For this one, Joan Jett produced 3 of the songs and sings backup vocals. Joan and her producer and partner in crime, Kenny Laguna, really tried super hard to get Bikini Kill to sign to a major label. They were pretty against it, especially Toby and Kathy. There's like kind of like a stigma in the punk world about signing to major labels. Right after Bikini Kill turned down Interscope Records, they signed No Doubt and immediately printed Gwen on the cover of a magazine that said Riot Grrrl on it when she had absolutely nothing to do with Riot Grrrl. When they were working on Demi Rep, they recorded themselves doing the nursery rhyme Miss Mary Mac. So good. It's such a good, like, silly little fun intro to the song. Being able to do fun stuff like that is one of the best parts of recording music. Go to see Bikini Kill live. You're not gonna have Joan Jett on stage playing Miss Mary Mac at the beginning of Demi Rep every time they play it. That's an experience you only get from listening to the album, and I think that's really cool and special. Her voice is so distinct, like, you know immediately, oh, that's Joan Jett. Anything that comes out of her mouth, I'm drooling. I'm barking like a dog. I'm on my hands and knees and I'm begging. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of highlights from this album. It's the last thing Bikini Kill puts out. It was really exhausting being treated the way that they were treated, threatened by men at shows. They wanted a barrier of girls in the front to protect them from all the men in the crowd who like genuinely wanted to kill them. That can take like a big toll on a band. The band needed to take some time away from each other, and most bands that like break up, it's never really forever, is it? Is it modern baseball? So in 1998, Kathleen Johanna Fateman and Sadie Benning, who later left and was replaced by JD Sampson in 2000, started the band Les Tigres. They're basically like electronic Riot Grrrl, but silly. They decided to sign to an independent lesbian feminist record label called Mr. Lady. So their first album is Les Tigres self-titled. The band NOFX, which I'm not super familiar with, but they're a punk band that have been around for decades, wrote a song called Kill Rock Stars, which is the name of the record label that Bikini Kill was on, basically calling out Kathleen for being an annoying feminist or whatever. Kind of hard to figure out like where the animosity came from. What really matters is that this is a punk rock diss track sesh. It's giving Drake and Kendrick. So we're gonna start off by going over some lyrics that Fat Mike wrote for the song Kill Rock Stars. Kill the rock stars. How ironic, Kathleen. You can't change the world by hating men. You can't change the world by blaming men. Just because I don't know the reason you're so pissed, don't dare tag me, misogynist. I wish I could have seen Courtney demonstrate some real misogyny. Courtney Love shout out, hey. Can't change the world by hating men. Kind of just sounds like he has taken her lyrics really personally. And to that I say, Fat Mike, aw, did a feminist punk band hurt your feelings? Did women talking about the ways that the patriarchy have hurt them hurt you, Fat Mike? Shut the fuck up. Kathleen responds with Decepticon. You bought a new van the first year of your band. You're cool and I hardly want to say not because I'm so bored that I'd be entertained even by a stupid fucking linoleum floor. Your lyrics are dumb like a linoleum floor. So NoFX has a song called Linoleum. The lyrics are equally as dumb. Now, here's the thing. I really do just like genuinely think that Kathleen is a better songwriter, like just based off of my minimal experience with NoFX so far. Don't come for me. If there is a NoFX song that you think is really good that I should listen to get like a better sense of who they are, I know nothing about this band. I think Kathleen Hanna is like wiping the floor with him. So the next Tigre album that comes out is called Feminist Sweepstakes. It was released October 16th of 2001. So a song that I'll talk about from this album called Dyke March 2001 that includes like a lot of samples of the 2001 New York City Dyke March. Tigre was really queer focused. This whole album is very gay. It's very brat. They wanted to have like some queer, fun electronic music. Lesbian bars shouldn't have to play Madonna and Young MC. We really wanted to create a song that was made for and by queer women all over. Let's talk about Mitch Fest. Mitch Fest stands for Michigan Women's Festival. That's women spelled with a Y. The festival ran from 1976 to 2015 in Oceana County, Michigan. In 1991, the festival banned trans women. Tigre played at this festival every year from 2001 and 2005. People develop their morals based off of a lot of things, and one of those things can be like whatever is considered the norm culturally at the time. It wasn't that long ago that the argument for having born women only spaces was seen as like a valid argument. There were plenty of people who saw an issue with this at the time and even started their own protest festivals. Amy Ray from the popular band Indigo Girls gave an explanation for why she thought it was okay to have a trans exclusionary event in 2005. Having a space for women who are born women to come together for a week is a healthy, whole, loving space to provide for women who have that experience. To label that as transphobic is, to me, as misplaced as saying the women of color tent is racist. I have always in my heart believed in the politics and the culture of separate time and space. I do want to make my values explicitly queer. Hang on. Freudian slip. Okay. I do want to make my values explicitly clear. Trans women are women. They belong in women-only spaces. In order to oppress a group of people, you need to belong to an identity that holds power over that group of people. Being cisgender is a privilege, and it is an identity that holds power in our society, which gives you the power to be oppressive towards trans people. When I think about like what's important about having women only spaces is the fact that like we share the experience of existing and living through sexism and the patriarchy. And of course, trans women have unique experiences that are different from cis women, but they are also treated just as badly, and in a lot of instances, in a lot of ways, even worse. I think this is something that Kathleen Hanna does understand now. She has done a lot of efforts in recent years to raise money for trans organizations. She has trans artists open for Bikini Kill. Kathleen has not talked about Mitch Fest, to my knowledge. She didn't talk about it in her memoir. I was kind of expecting her to a little bit, so that was a little disappointing. Not my place to say that she is forgiven. I do think it's important to acknowledge that, like, she's done a lot since then. So the next Tigre album is called This Island. This was released October 19th, 2004. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this album. I honestly don't listen to Tigre as much as I do Bikini Kill. I will talk about the song TKO because
TKO.
hear it on the radio. It's fun. It's just fun. It's a bop. I love to sing it. They've got this really awesome cover of the song I'm So Excited by the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited. That song. Okay, Lyme disease. Kathleen was diagnosed with Lyme disease in 2005. So this is pretty much what led to her needing to stop performing for a long time because she just became extremely ill. She's since become a big advocate for raising awareness for the disease and just like really great representation for having an invisible disability and having like chronic health issues. So while she was sick, she started up her new-ish project called the Julie Ruin. So Tigre actually started out as looking for band members to bring her solo project alive, but she ended up just starting a new band and putting her solo stuff on the back burner. So in 2010, Kathleen revisited these songs and started writing again and went back to finding musicians to help her bring them to life and to start performing again when she was feeling better. Bikini Kill was a project that was singing to the proverbial man in the audience of like, this is what sexism has done to us. This is what your complicity has done to us. For Julie Ruin, she really wanted to sing to women. The Julie Ruin sounds like something a girl would make in her bedroom. I just wanted to say, from one girl making art in her bedroom, thank you for joining me here. My audience is like 80% women, and I just wanted to say I love you. In the memoir and also in recent interviews, Kathleen Hanna has suddenly dropped that she is a mother. This is something that I actually like highly respect about her, is how good she and Ad Rock are at keeping their child's privacy. Their kiddo is 10 years old. He comes with Kathleen on tours. He's probably the coolest kid in the world. Let's talk about I'm With Her. I cannot believe that I did not know that this existed until I was doing research for this video. So in 2016, Tigre got back together after over 10 years on hiatus to endorse Hillary Rodham Clinton. It's giving school project. It's giving we didn't need to get back together for this. It's giving careful what you wish for. To be honest, I cannot blame them for like doing whatever they could to try and not get Trump elected in 2016. It's not that making songs for a presidential candidate can't work. I must confess, I have been coconut pilled. We do exist in a context, but I do wonder, did this hurt? Did this hurt Hillary's campaign in the same way that Pokemon Go to the Polls did? It's very cringe. It's a tough watch. And guess what? We are going to watch it. Trust women. Whose man is this? Whose adult man cat is that? So it looks like we are literally in Kathleen's backyard and JD's like rooftop at their New York City apartment or some shit. We've got a pantsuit, ladies and gents, and we needed it. And we needed that. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.
Trump has got to go.
I could spot Hillary Clinton by the back of the head anywhere. I just love that the footage that they used of Hillary looks like they like either like got it just like online or went to a random rally, could only get the back of her head. We can't wait. That much is true. I don't understand the clips of the cat. Photos of Hillary in the 70s where I would risk it all for her. What is this cat and dog footage for? What is this about?
Trump has got to go.
You know what? Actually, looking back on it, I don't think this is as bad as I was expecting it to be. We all own cats? It's very feminist of you to own a cat. Okay, so we've got police. What's this about? More cat? Did you just run out of footage and we're like, okay, let's just... It's all cat. Who is this? I'm with her. I'm with her. Abortion is healthcare. It is a human right. I mean, their audience, the people who like Tigre, they were gonna vote for Hillary. Was this to get her elected in the primary or to get her elected as president? Because those feel like different things. I voted for Bernie in this primary election, November 8th. Okay, so yeah, it was for the presidential election. Guys, okay, listen. We all get to be a little cringe as a treat. Kathleen is not above that, and she's allowed that. She's a mom. She can be a little silly. So, Kathleen Hanna now. 2 big reunions. We are post big reunions. So, in 2019, Kathleen said that she felt inspired to get the band back together, get Bikini Kill back together because of the Brett Kavanaugh trials, who, if you don't remember, was elected to the Supreme Court, allegedly R-worded a woman in college, and seeing the way that the public was reacting to this trial and the way that people were treating the woman who accused Brett Kavanaugh, she felt like people needed to hear Feminism 101 Bikini Kill songs again. So they attempted a reunion in 2020 that was disrupted by the pandemic. I bought tickets to their show at Higher Ground. It was rescheduled 4 times. Every time they selected a new date, they were like, surely we'll be good by then, right? Also, Tigre had a reunion very recently as well, and I also got to see them. Humble brag. She's killing it. She's touring again. She seems healthy. She seems happy. I really enjoyed her book. She also has this nonprofit organization called Tees for Togo, which has contributed to 633 girls' growth and education in Togo, West Africa, and partners with Peace Sisters. They distribute solar lamps, ID cards, provide healthcare access to over 480 girls, and she's done that by selling t-shirts. Bikini Kill very recently had their first ever late show performance. Are we serious? I'm getting emotional. Did I expect to cry in the Kathleen Hanna lore video? No. I just love girls. Yeah, I cried watching Rebel Girl on The Late Show. And what about it? Oh, so you hate women? Oh, so you don't value and appreciate and love female friendship? Okay. Let's talk about some conclusions. I love this woman. They could never make me hate you, Kathleen. Maybe that's a little too parasocial. Don't idolize people that you don't know. Her story is just really inspiring to me. I appreciate her candidness. I appreciate her vulnerability. I think she has a lot of really smart things to say. She's hugely important to our culture. And that's it from me. Guys, this was fun. Thank you so much for continuing to watch. I have an Instagram now if you're interested in connecting with me over there. Links will be in this description as always. This episode is sponsored by Burly Girlies, just like every single one. That is my band. If you're interested, if you like feminist punk, you'll like us. Go listen to Bikini Kill, listen to Tigre, listen to Julie Ruin. Love your best friend. Text her, tell her you love her. Thanks. Bye.
My rebel girl. Say hi. Come and be my best friend, really rebel girl.
Sorry. Mad. Big mad.